criteria of any peace plan are always based in the values of the Charter and international law. And so obviously for us, a peace solution for the Ukraine that is in line with these principles would also abide by the resolutions of the General Assembly that have clearly indicated that the territorial integrity of the Ukraine and in general around the world, the territorial integrity of states must be respected.
For further analysis, let's bring in Alexander Titov in Belfast. He's a Russian affairs analyst and lecturer at Queen's University in Belfast. Alexander, thanks for being with us. So what is the likelihood of Antonio Guterres, what he's saying there at G20, saying that any proposal for peace needs to abide by Ukraine's territorial integrity? What's the likelihood of that happening at this point in the game?
0%. If to be honest, because that would basically means Russia surrendering and just withdrawing, and there's absolutely no indication, reason, or possibility of that ever happening. So he has to say what he has to say, but it's completely irrelevant to what is actual happening on the ground or the likely deal which will come out of it.
And Alexander, today we've heard from Zelensky saying the Ukraine is facing a very difficult choice, either the loss of dignity or the risk of losing a key partner, but also saying he plans to work calmly with the Americans and offer alternatives to the US peace proposal. But what alternatives does the Ukrainian president have to offer at this point?
Continuing support from United States and Europe for Ukraine in terms of finances and military aid, and more sanctions on Russia. That's what he has to offer. So the issue here is that Zelensky has not really said anything new. He's extremely, I listened to it, it's extremely vague statement, 10 minutes, not really saying much at all. But bottom line is that there is a serious pressure on Ukraine to come up with terms. The terms are essentially, according to the side which is having the upper hand, which is Russia at the moment. And the question for Ukraine is that whether how far it wants to go along with it. Things are not really going well at all for Ukraine in terms of on the front line. There are several sections of the front which are, on the verge of collapsing or are collapsing as we speak. And there's a huge corruption scandal in Ukraine as well. Zelensky is extremely weakened too. So, those two things together, plus Europe doesn't really have its own money to kind of continue to support Ukraine unless it wants to confiscate the Russian assets, which are, another problematic way of doing it. So, things are, deadline for Ukraine, but, at the same time, it's not completely, on its back yet. Therefore, there is some room for Zelensky to try to convince United States that it's a little bit more, and Russian economy will collapse and everything will sort itself, which, obviously is unlikely, but nevertheless, that's their strategy.
Alexander Titov live for us there from Queen's University, Belfast. Thank you so much for your time.